All right, this just into CBS Sports HQ, where there's a new development in the Micah Parsons saga in Dallas. ESPN reporting that the Cowboys are at least open to listening to offers for the star pass rusher who asked for a trade after contract talks broke down. The clock is ticking on all of this to come to some type of resolution. Cowboys open up the regular season 1 week from tonight. They don't even get the extra days of September 7th. We've got Ryan Wilson and Tyler Sullivan here to talk about, I guess, the new development, guys. I know how we got here, Ryan, but does it surprise you that we're learning that Dallas is at least open to dealing Micah Parsons?
Hey, Tommy. Hey, Sully. Good to see you guys. Nothing coming out of Dallas surprises me at this point. Remember, it was August 1st, and it feels like it was August 1st, 2020 at this point when Micah Parsons sent out that message on social media saying that he was done with the Cowboys and he wanted to be traded or at the very least play elsewhere. So the fact that the ball rolling down the hill has gotten to this point in terms of where we are is not surprising. And Rand Carthon and I have talked about this a lot on With the First Pick. This is Jerry Jones being Jerry Jones, and it seems on the outside looking in that Jerry is happy with any publicity because folks are talking about the Cowboys. He understands that he has leverage. He has said in recent weeks that they have Micah for 3 more years, and by that he means 1 year left on the rookie deal and then 2 years of franchise tag should they decide to do that. And all the conversations that happened in March about what Jerry and Micah decided in terms of contracts, Micah and his agent disagreed with that, in part because his agent wasn't there. And it just feels like we're at loggerheads, and this isn't going to resolve itself anytime soon. It is crazy, Tommy, that as you know, they play the Eagles in 7 days, and the Eagles are favorites anyway. Not having your best player out there feels like it makes you a worse football team. But, you know, Jerry appreciates the fact that we're talking about it. And I'll just say this. I know this Cowboys team has struggled forever in the postseason. They're worth $10 billion, so Jerry's doing something right. But Cowboys fans probably are not happy, neither is Micah, about the way they're treating their best player. You know, sometimes deadlines can create some urgency. And Tyler, based on what we've seen from this team, we're not surprised because there's been a precedent set with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and now Micah Parsons. What's your take on all of this?
Yeah, I mean, there is a case to be made where all of a sudden we get to a week from now, they're kicking off, and somehow Micah Parsons is on the field and he's taking part against the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, sure, there's a world where that happens, but it does feel, right, a little bit different than Dak Prescott. It does feel like things have gotten a little bit more personal, a little bit more venomous. So to me, I know that we say, okay, well, you can't be surprised by this because it's Jerry Jones, it's the Cowboys, it's what they do. But at the same point, why are you tinkering around with a young, arguably the best defensive player in the NFL this offseason? We've seen the numbers of what he's been able to do when he's on the field. We've seen how prolific he can be. We can see right here the historic pace that he's on to begin his career. And it's not like this is something that the Cowboys didn't see coming. This did not come out of the blue. We knew at some point Micah Parsons would sign a deal that will eventually make him the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. This offseason, we've seen that title change hands numerous times. Go back to March 5th, Max Crosby signed his extension with the Las Vegas Raiders, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. That was $35 million in average annual salary. Fast forward to this July, it's TJ Watt signing a deal that makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, around $40 million per season. In between there, you have Myles Garrett and Jamar Chase also taking a turn at that title. All the while, Jerry Jones could have signed Micah Parsons to a deal that would have made him that in line with that highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, and he would have come in cheaper than what he's coming at now. And now we're talking about not just not signing him, but possibly losing the player. It seems unfathomable that we're getting to this point.
So if we just piggyback off what you just talked about, and guys, can we bring back that highest AAV for edge rushers here when we're talking about Micah Parsons, Trey Hendrickson, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt in company? So if we guys just entertain the idea of potential trades, you would assume that none of these teams can double forward a double dip of edge rushers here. But Tyler, I'm going to give you first word, and then Ryan, you can follow. Is there a destination that you think, if it would happen, that Micah Parsons on another team would work out?
well, Wilson will make fun of me. I'll throw my homer hat on up here in New England. I think the Patriots are a team that make a lot of sense. Now we have to talk about the price tag of what it would take for Micah Parsons. You go back to the Khalil Mack trade of a few, now at this point, more than a few years ago, going from the Las Vegas Raiders, then the Oakland Raiders to the Chicago Bears. That was multiple first-round picks and more. And now if you're talking Micah Parsons, you're talking about signing him to that massive contract. The Patriots, they have first-round picks. They have the highest amount of cap space in the NFL at the moment. And last season were dead last in the NFL in sacks. Now, does Mike Vrabel and the Robert Kraft and the Patriots at this point in their rebuild take that big of a swing? I know they were really big spenders this offseason in free agency, were players at the NFL draft. That might be a swing a little bit too early for this team, but ultimately you see the fit, you see the need. He's a young, still ascending player to pair with Drake May, who's on the opposite side of the ball. That would really get this rebuild going. So for me, just entertain me for a little bit. Make me dream of Micah Parsons wearing that number 11 former Julian Edelman jersey heading to Foxborough. But again, we'll see if that ultimately ends up happening.
I can't even get mad at you, Sully. It makes a lot of sense, in part because Mike Vrabel feels like he would get the most out of Micah Parsons, in part because this team feels a little different than it has in recent years because of their franchise quarterback in Drake May. The only issue I have is how close are these Patriots to getting back to the old school Tom Brady, Bill Belichick form of the Patriots we became accustomed to, which leads me to another team in the AFC East and the Buffalo Bills. And again, it's going to cost you 2 first-round picks and maybe even a player or another draft pick. But if the Bills' plan is to win a Super Bowl, and that's everyone's plan, and they're this close, who better get you over that hump, especially when you have some questions on defense, than Micah Parsons? Obviously, the new stadium's coming next year, and Josh Allen is the face of the franchise, but you can have a co-face of the franchise who plays on defense, 25-year-old Micah Parsons, and I think Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott would probably get on board with the idea of giving up a couple first-round picks and change to get a Micah Parsons there and have them in that AFC Championship game against whether it's the Ravens or the Chiefs, knowing that in the fourth quarter, Micah's going to turn it on, and you got Josh Allen doing Josh Allen things. That feels like the thing that gets you over the hump, even though with the understanding that they spent, I think, their first 5 picks on defensive players in this draft class, but those guys are not going to contribute to the level of Micah Parsons, probably combined over the next 2 or 3 years.
I don't think Josh Allen, Drake May, Tua Tagovailoa, or Justin Fields would like any of that to have Micah Parsons in their division unless he's on their team. Guys, thank you very much. Of course, we'll be continuing to cover what takes place with this particular Cowboys team, and the countdown is on. First football game in a week, 10 more days for the NFL on CBS, which returns on Paramount Plus as well.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you.
Big news coming out of the NFL. A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
With highlights.
What a finish at the final round of play.
And in-depth analysis.
Can they three-peat? Tony Romo joins the conversation.
What can you say about this game?
When you need your sports in a snap,
we're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
Find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.